Good morning, good evening, good night, whichever time you're actually watching this. I'm your host, Chris, and we called it the loading screen until I decided to, upload it to YouTube, and I found out that there was another, the loading screen. So, we changed the name to the Blue Screen Talk Show. Same theory behind it, like I talked about last week or the week before. Actually, I wanted to try and make this a weekly thing, but I don't know. I'm finding it hard to get the content that I want. Yeah. So anyway. If you get, like I said in the first show, if you guys have ideas, I'm all ears, or all eyes, because I'm pretty sure you'd email me or comment on one of the pages. Either, just like if you're on Facebook, go to the Week Rogue Entertainment. We're the only one there, I guarantee you. And just send us a post or private message, whatever. Or you can email us at weekrogueentertainment@gmail.com. Weak as in, not strong, and rogue as in I've gone rogue. So, in entertainment, the stuff that makes you laugh and things like that. If you've not noticed already, I am recording this on a camera. That is because we actually dropped some money, or rather, one of the partners actually dropped money. Thank you to him. He is what we refer to as number 4 on the Repcast. So anyway, a big thank you to him, because now we're able to film things in HD, and I can, put sound directly into the camera, which is really, really nice, because I hate audio syncing. I do. I mean, it's if you've never done it, it's hard to explain. If you've done it, you understand. I know that I will get better with time, though, but the less I have to do, I believe the better my headache will be. Because I do that for all of our recordings. This, I like this because let me show you guys. I can just put it down into our soundboard, running from our mic, and from me to you. I like it. So, alright, I've got a lot of stuff. I may or may not actually cover everything, but like I said last week, I love technology. I love science. I don't know everything. I'll never claim to know everything. I'm always learning. I mean, it's just fascinating, the crap that I'm learning. Like, let me see. Did you know that there is a 9-year-old kid who actually is cancer-free because of cannabis? Like, literally, cannabis cured him. I find it mind-boggling that we, as a society, ban weed, cannabis, whichever you want to call it. But we ban this stuff, even though there's a whole industry. They make rope. They were making different oils. They were, well, obviously smoking it to get high, but I mean, they're finding out that, you can use this stuff to cure cancer. They're figuring out that you can use this stuff to make rubber. They're just all sorts of crazy stuff. No, actually, they knew they could make rubber with it. I think it was rubber. If I'm wrong, correct me. I may figure it out later and correct myself in a few shows. So anyway, it just mind-boggling, just like, it's like medicinal marijuana. Apparently, I qualify. Who knew? Well, I guess I could have called it. If you know me personally or listened to any of my talk on the Repcast, then you know why. On here, I'm not going to get into any of that, but I qualify. I know other people who qualify and really could benefit. I'd actually, I kind of like to see it, because really, you don't have to smoke this stuff. In fact, they're figuring out now how to take the THC out of the cannabis. So you get the healing properties of the plant, but you're not getting the high, which is amazing. That, that we're actually able to basically pull a part of a plant, genome, out of a plant, and there you are. I don't know. I'm 30 years old. I still remember in the 90s when all this stuff that, tablet, well, shoot, even before then, you watch Star Trek, flip phones, really, the communicator, okay, computers that you talk to, hello, has anybody ever used Google? Let me think here, what else? Here did we, the tablet, by the way, yeah, Gene Roddenberry, I don't know, he was brilliant, man, like, I don't know, just, I think in another life he was like an inventor. I actually don't believe in that, but it sounds good. We'll go with it. But I'm serious though. Like, he had a vision of what the future could be, and he made it on a set. And you saw Captain Kirk writing stuff and signing things on a computer tablet. You saw 3.5 floppy drives. They didn't call them that. They called them computer tapes, but same difference. But I always thought that was cool, and I was one of the guys that always said, I wonder if I could build that. And apparently there's a lot of people out there with a lot more money than me, because yeah, like I said, heard of Google? Have you heard of Watson? Yeah, so now, like, you got Watson and things like that. Anyway, that's a whole nother thing though. Like, Watson is amazing technology. Like, to beat people at Jeopardy. I mean, not only do you have to, it was designed to go off of its own knowledge that was stored in all of its servers. I mean, entire room full of server racks. Like, we're talking like the one behind me, and they were just full of these things, and oh my gosh, I couldn't believe it. And then an algorithm to actually talk, I think that impressed me as much, if not more, the fact that you could actually not plug it into the internet and teach it. Star Trek, anybody? Did anyone grow up watching Star Trek The Next Generation? I know I did. I wanted a computer I could be like, hey, access this database. Access. Okay, I want you to cross-reference that, look for this. 5 seconds later, found or not found. And now we have it. You know, they did that. They had stuff like that science fiction wise in the 1980s, you know, and here it is, you know, in the 2000 teens now, and we've got it. Like there's no wait, we got it. What else? So what is Watson going to be used for? Well, really anything you want to. Like, I know they've been trying to deploy them in the medical field, to assist doctors in a proper diagnosis. Because why not? If you can program a machine to bounce this stuff off of, and then it can just look at an X-ray or MRI. Actually, MRIs are a lot better than X-rays, in my opinion, because, well, magnetic resonant imaging, you know, versus an X-ray. I think that looks like a screw. That's a bone. Really? Are you sure? You know, versus MRI, you can get a 3D rendering of it, you know. Anyway, you guys have got a taste for me. I like to rant about stuff like this. But I'm serious. You literally could throw this thing on a starship. You know, it's like, throw it on a starship. It could plot courses. It could be used to chart anything. You know, it could be used in a space station, you know, for orbiting for defense, shielding, things like that. Oh, that reminds me, speaking of shielding, I am more organized this week, guys. You have to be kind of proud of me. They figured out, this was an article from last week, I guess at the beginning of the month. My bad. But nevertheless, news to me still. Maybe news to you. If so, awesome. If not, Anyway, lunar discovery reveals secret to building deflector shield. I don't know about you guys, but you know, you always hear about the Kyrift belt or whatever. Basically, it's a belt of radiation that goes around, you know, it basically, it's radiation all over, right? But this belt area between the Earth and the Moon is a really, really, really insane lethal dose. Like, this is one of the reasons why some people think we didn't go to the Moon. Because, I read that, the space suits could not be used for radiation cleanup. Now, wait a minute. But that's nor here nor there. I honestly think that there was more technology involved in the suits that have not been declassified yet. That's me, and probably others out there. But anyway, they discovered basically how to make a high end, or take how to prevent high energy particles, or what it takes, I guess, to prevent high energy particles from striking the moon. I apologize. I thought I muted my phone. And yes, I know my work area is insanely messy behind me. I apologize. Yeah. Yeah, I got nothing for you. It just, yeah. Let's put it this way. I am working on it. Alright, there. Got that muted. Awesome. Alright. So anyway, they basically figured out how to create a small magnetic field, which I've said for years, you know, create a small magnetic field similar to the Earth's magnetic poles, and then you got a deflector shield for this radiation. I mean, it is what keeps solar winds from wisping our atmosphere away. So I've kind of said that for years, and apparently NASA caught up. I think they're like maybe about 5 years behind. That's my opinion. Anyway, but they're talking about using magnetic shielding for spacecraft, and they even admit that it's not new, but using I don't get quite what they did really. They used, it looks like, a satellite to beam magnetic energy? Maybe I got this wrong. Hang on. I swear I was more prepared, but I'm wanting to make sure I'm telling you right about this stuff. Oh, I see. It wasn't really. They basically detected magnetic pockets on the moon. That's cool. It really is, actually. But they detected magnetic pockets where these highly charged radioactive particles couldn't go into part of the moon or something like that. Like I think I just read, the idea is not new. I don't know why they thought that was interesting. I guess the fact that the moon has its own magnetic poles. But you kind of need that for some sort of gravity? I don't know. Well, not really. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out what actually creates gravity, per se. Anyway, that's a whole nother theoretical thing to go into, which I don't believe I will right now. Anyway, I thought that was rather interesting. Speaking of magnets, probably what, a week ago, I guess, they found magnetic islands on Titan that just appeared mysteriously from its depths. That is like, they have no idea what's going on with this. They I don't know, they're totally perplexed. I mean, if we're gonna go somewhere, I say let's skip Mars and go to Titan. It seems to me it's more interesting there. But things I keep reading suggest that we're already on Mars. So, yeah, the people who are gonna go on their one-way trip might have neighbors. But I don't know. This could be very, very interesting. What this is. I don't even understand what they're talking about. Like I said, not the smartest guy in the room. Don't claim to be. That's why I read a lot. And I listen to a lot of TED Talks. You guys will probably hear me refer to TED Talks. I don't remember the names of speakers, but I do normally remember the topics. So, if you want to Google it, anyway. But anyway, this is like really crazy stuff they got going on here with finding these. Like I said, I think we should just go directly to Mars, or go directly to Titan, get it done with. Anyway, let's go on, talk about something else here, which is, because, I kind of like switching between topics. Keeps you on your toes, and hopefully keeps you watching. Anyway, I found this interesting. Quadriplegic man was implanted. I think it was an implantation. Yeah, it's what I thought I read. I just, like I said, I like to be sure what I'm telling you guys. If not, I admit it. Anyway, quadriplegic man uses his limbs. Or at least a limb. He had a brain implant that was developed at Ohio State University. And the guy, I guess, where I just had what it was called, the new, I guess they're calling this thing the Neuro Bridge. So I guess now he can actually, move his hand. But yeah, they equate it to a heart bypass. But instead of bypassing blood, they actually bypass electrical signals in the brain. That to me is really cool. I mean, like, we're getting to that level of technology where it's kind of scary, because you can throw you at this point right there, you have Cyborg. I do not care what you say, cyborg. But really, you already kind of have them. You know, because you'll get soldiers who come back missing limbs. You know, they'll get an arm, and they'll be able to control it with their thoughts, or actually their actual nerve endings. I get from what I understand nowadays, it actually reads the nerve endings of whatever part of your limb is left, so you actually can feel, and actually move the way that you know the way that your brain would actually tell your given limb, I guess, is the proper terminology. But yeah, this guy though is just like, that is amazing. Just think about this, guys. They're like Stephen Hawking. I mean, yeah, he has ALS. I get that, but take somebody like him, who's a quadriplegic or even somebody who has more brain damage than that, and you can start bypassing. You can jump circuits, get in there and jump circuits around, and all of a sudden, it's like, solid state drives in the brain, and you think I'm kidding. It sounds funny, but I don't believe we're too far off. I mean, shoot, Stephen Hawking, I don't know if it's possible, but in theory, could be regenerated with stem cells. Very theoretical, but nevertheless, it is very plausible. And like I said, I feel like I have a slight right to actually talk about this stuff and feel I'm not offending people, because I would really be offending myself. But like I said, if you want to know more, go back and listen to the Repcast. Alrighty up. Shameless plug on that. Alrighty. More weird biology stuff going on. Apparently, there's a two-headed alligator that's been spotted in Florida. I seriously want to know what this alligator swam through, to become two-headed. Or is it like conjoined twins? That would be fascinating. Two different alligators, two different brains, but so the alligators have their own that is weird. I mean, sit down and actually think about that. That is weird. Because, I mean, do they fight? And if so, how do they fight? And who controls what part of the body? The left or the right? Or, is it left hemisphere of one brain, right hemisphere of another brain? So are they constantly at each other? Like I said, weird. But there again, my brain really does work like that. Back a little bit. So there apparently has been a study done which has apparently strengthened the link between the use of pesticides or pesticide exposure, which I mean I would assume equals consumption or would include consumption, and autism. It kind of makes sense. I mean, if you really think about it. I mean, I'm 30. I grew up being in the majority of skinny people. I only remember maybe two heavy set people in my class, you know, and that was only two. And you look about 4, 6 years younger coming up, and they're like, I remember helping one of the computer lab attendants do something, and I walked into a class, and I remember seeing like maybe one skinny kid out of like 30, bigger kid. Like, they weren't big boned, they were big. And I was like, right, okay, that is weird. I am not putting down people who are overweight, because some of it I believe, and there are links to and studies to support this, which it's not really your fault. Yet it is because of the diet and the food we eat. I say we because I used to be, I got pretty big myself for a while, but there again, that was basically, I figured out that the cafeterias at work served amazing food during the day. And that was when I went to days. I was skinnier when I was on nights. Also, I think I was skinnier when I was less stressed. Isn't that weird? You would think when you're more stressed you'd be like not hungry and whatever, but no, it's just the opposite. Weird. Anyway, but my point is that all of our foods contain pesticides. All of our food, like meats, contain growth hormone. I'm sorry, people, though, that the growth hormone does not get cooked out of the meat. I don't care how long you cook it. You can cook it till it is shoe leather, and it still won't be cooked out, because that is in the protein base. That was injected into the cattle, the pig, the chicken. Yeah, I think fish get it too, maybe. I don't know about fish. I know about the others. That they, like nowadays farming is more about quantity than quality. And, I'm trying to be healthier. I'm, just because I'm seeing the stuff that places like Monsanto is doing, and, they're the only place that comes to mind, because I've recently read a study and seen a documentary about them, but I'm not going to get into it, because, if you want to know more, Google it, or email me, I'll, we can converse. That would be great. But anyway, there is a boost of autism in the US. It has just gone up. Like me, I remember being in the minority for disabilities. Nowadays, it's like it's almost commonplace. And it is weird. It is weird. You know, I'm not saying that they don't have a purpose in life. I am not saying that they cannot be helped, because I was. You know, that's why I'm a navigator for this technology, like I was talking about with the guy having the brain bypass. I am an advocate for this technology. You know, yeah, I believe in God, but I also believe that God gives tools, gives knowledge to build tools to do things. You know, so I know there's a balance. I'm gonna probably have somebody who's like really, really by the book, and that's fine. That is perfectly fine, because I believe that God will do what He does. You know, but like I said, I also believe that He's given us technology and the ability to do things with our genome for a reason. So, anyway, enough religious speak. That's funny. I don't like that word. I'm sorry. Anyway. So, what else have we got? Oh, hey guys. Who here likes electric cars? I know I do. I love electric cars. Who wants to build one? I know I do. Probably you do. And probably all your techie friends. Might be a little stretching it. Probably not. Tesla, released. I can't believe this. They released, all their patents. And they didn't do this because their patents just ran out and they didn't renew it. They released all their patents to help people like you and me do what they did and make innovation. That number one is cool, and number two, frightening. Why is it frightening? It is frightening for one reason. One reason only: Detroit. Because I know what they did with the EV1, and what Ford did with theirs, and what Chrysler did with theirs. What's funny, though, is that the ploy they did sparked off the Japanese. And now you have the Nissans, you have, the Nissan Leaf, I think, and then you have the Mitsubishi, whatever it is, you have the Prius, and then you get the Tesla. I mean, yeah, okay, fine. 200 miles to a charge if you drove it gingerly. 70 miles to a charge hot rodding. Yeah, okay, fine. It took 10 hours to charge. Well, is that using 110 or 220? 220 charging's probably gonna go a little bit faster. Yeah. At that point, I say solar panels. What else have I got for you guys? I swear I do a lot of research, and then I weed out things, and then I weed out more as I actually record. Excuse me. Today I actually woke up at, a normal person's hour. I woke up at 8:15 this morning. That was actually fairly refreshing. Because normally I've been going to bed about 3, 4 in the morning. And believe it or not, it's not because I work third shift normally. It's just because my brain goes and yeah, at night my brain works and I have to work, and yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm talking to the choir here, or preaching to the choir. So, have you guys ever thought what happens if the earth stops spinning? It wouldn't be good. And I don't know. I like, there's a video. I had an article, but the article kind of went away. So anyway, I don't know. I might link this video. I think I will. I'll right down there, guys, because I'm putting it on YouTube too, because well, even though I may have room on my server, I do not have the bandwidth for video, nor do I care to really kill my hard drives, because everybody's trying to read video from it, like 100 times a day or something. Please. No, I'm playing. But that's something I probably would talk about a little later, actually. Anyway, it wouldn't be good, because if the earth stops spinning, well, I assume that means the core stops spinning. And if the core stops spinning, then our magnetosphere goes away. In comes the solar winds, like I talked about earlier, and bye-bye atmosphere. So, and I'm pretty sure it'd be even worse, because electronics would be all messed up. I'm not sure about this, but I would assume so. And, the funny thing is, apparently there is a book that was written about this. I don't remember the name, but I remember number 4 telling me about it. So, you could look up this article and look up that book, because it's good science fiction. I like it. Or at least what I've overviewed of it. We're talking about space earlier, and deflector shields and things such as that. NASA, good old NASA. Oh, they caught up. Yeah, they got their first deep space craft ready for launch. It's basically a big ass capsule, and that you just put on probably a Saturn V rocket, and but I don't know, since they've retired the shuttles back in 2001, there hasn't really been anything from NASA. Like, I don't know. NASA, last I heard anything from them, they were giving economic crap. Like, I mean, yeah, they put Curiosity on Mars. Whoop-de-doo. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. But at this point in the game, I say whoop-de-doo. You put probes on Mars. You put some on that you drive around. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know this thing is sophisticated for, the technology that's in it. But, I mean, come on. Send somebody up there. I mean, if you're gonna if you're gonna send rovers up there, send raw material up there. You know, send something they can build a shelter out of, so you can, when you do actually send people up there, so they can survive. That's kind of my theory. I mean, come on. You know, maybe a really loud Humvee. That way, like several Humvees. You know, that you can drive around on Mars, so you can start making an atmosphere and things like that. Keep that in mind. Because what we find as pollutants here would actually be good for terraforming. It might take a long time, but so would about any other process. Probably about a good 100+ years to do it. But that's... Oh, can't scoot that anymore. Okay. I don't know. It's but they say it's got the largest heat shield ever built, and a computer 400 times faster than the one on the space shuttle. They plan to launch it into space on the most powerful rocket NASA's ever made. So I guess they're not going to shoot it off with a Saturn V. Okay. So for you guys who do not know anything about what is in the space shuttle, you go, oh well, they have IBM ThinkPads and things like that. Yeah, well, yeah, sort of. No. They have a computer that's probably a little bit bigger than my soundboard that I showed you at the beginning. And it it probably has about maybe 500 or 512K of memory. But now, before you go, but that's so small. Think about it though. The processor only doesn't have to run hot. The memory doesn't have to run hot. They use these older IBM industrial computers for a couple of reasons. They used it because it actually used magnetic RAM. These things are resilient. Because you could be in the middle of something and be hit with radiation or something like that and be fine. Because it's on a magnetic spool, you know, that's storing all your RAM. Kind of like a hard drive, except not. It's, not, I don't know how to exactly explain it. Somebody out there probably can explain that a whole lot better than I. I just understand the rudimentaries of how it works. 400 times faster. I mean, what are they gonna do? Put like a bunch of machines like that together and slave them? Of course, if it's gonna be deep space, though, you gotta be able to do more than just calculate trajectory out of atmosphere, trajectory of to go back in the atmosphere to land, and things like that. You know, not to mention just what you would have to do to pilot this thing. 400 times faster. Shoot, I can't even think of how fast that would be. I mean, because really, what that was like, probably, oh, they were using an IBM industrial computer Not to be confused with the 5150, I think it was. That was the big ass desktop. No. This thing was just kind of a box, and you basically had your rudimentary readouts on their LCDs, or not LCDs, I guess LEDs, but recently, I guess recently in the lifespan of the shuttles, they got a upgrade. So, you know, they actually did a little bit more. They got, like, literally the computer got upgraded to a newer version. The reason why it's probably well, not probably. The reason why it's taken so much time for them really to get a computer to do more on something newer is primarily because they had something that works. If you've ever worked with Linux, like server-wise, back-end, you know, if you configure a Ubuntu server, you never ever do a automatic update, because you and I know that if an update goes in, it could break other configurations. I learned that my first experience building a backend server for a company. Granted that, you know, it was fine because I was able to work around the brokenness, but it was kind of terrifying. But I fixed it. It was fine. Same deal, except that when you're in space, you don't want your crap breaking. I mean, come on, dude. Like, literally, you are not gonna run Windows on this thing. Like, I'm sorry, I know for me, I do not want to see the blue or black screen of death come up because of some dang RAM error or processing error or some random ass hardware error that happens. Alright, sorry for the interruption. Hang on, let me get that off. That's not the microphone. That's my microphone. Sorry about the cutoff. My battery subsequently went dead. Or not subsequently, consequently went dead from usage. Sorry, I started back up my recording after an hour and a half or 2 hours. Wait, what time is it? Almost 3 hours, I guess, of it 2.5 hours of it charging. Shoot. I don't remember where I was. I'm sorry, guys. So I mean, I remember what I covered. I just don't remember what I was saying when the camera went dead. Alright, and my camera will not let me just fast forward and all that good stuff to watch it. So, I'll just go on with what I was going to cover next. I mean, I think I'll probably browse over other things I've talked about anyway, like I normally have. Alright, so Windows 8 or 8.1 or whatever the hell Microsoft is up to now. You know, there talks about bringing out an update. I think I've said before on the last show, they're going to be bringing out an update that allows you to actually have the start button again in desktop mode, which, you know, I just go get rid of the Metro altogether. That's me. China, however, agrees. they said no Windows 8.8 or 8.1, I mean, on our computers. We just want Windows 7. And with good reason. Like, some people don't realize this, but Windows 7 is actually supported, long-term supported, a year, I believe, over, or under, I'm sorry, a year under Windows 8.1. So, for me, I say that it's kind of a no-brainer. Hi, Lucy. My dog's petting me, or licking me. Wow, that would be hilarious and awkward if my dog started petting me. Wouldn't it, baby? Yeah. Yeah? What? See? Cute baby girl. Because she's a cute puppy. Say hi, Lucy. Hi, baby. Are you a cute girl? Are you camera shy, honey? Baby. Oh. I believe she's camera shy. I, on the other hand, am not. Obviously. Alright. Let's... Yeah. As you guys can probably tell, I rough it a lot. But good things come from roughing it. So, and I'm sure you saw another project on my table over there. Yeah, like I said, I build things. That's kind of my hobby and my skill. You know, it's like I like building things. I like hearing people say you can't do that, and then, you know, having fun showing them up. That's me. Oh, that's hot yet. You know what? I recently discovered chai tea, or chai latte, or chai latte, whatever it is. I have a Keurig out in my shop. It's kind of like a couple of slashes. It's like office slash workshop slash work area slash well, shop and work area, but I do computer repair as well. So I have computer repair stuff out here. We do the Repcast out here, and now I do the blue. You know what? I am tired. I do the blue screen talk show now. But apparently there's a lot of people that do not want to use Windows 8 or 8.1. I got so used to saying 8.1, and then kind of like the Surfaces, they just went a year later, bloop, here's another one. Not a whole lot of difference. I'm hoping for the next version to be like how Surface Pro 3 is, and be like, here, i7. What? You know, I'm actually impressed with that. This is the first generation. I am thinking I want to upgrade because it's having issues. And I'm not just saying that because I want another one, even though I do. But because, I mean, come on. I don't really feel like dumping all my information into a new Windows 8.1 machine. Just because I can't transfer... No, I have not found out how to transfer everything, that, like my programs and things like that. Because it's like, I got things set up the way I want it. You know, that to me is kind of the hard thing about being in the IT and also in entertainment industry. And You know, and the problem that I'm having though is that, you know, I need a computer that just lets me do everything. I used to have one that did everything. I'm not even gonna try and get it, but it is this laptop right here. And I've talked about it before. It died. Yeah. Mac fans, while I'm talking about this, I'm gonna harp on Mac for a minute. Seriously, what is the deal with me having to download a new image or whatever it is of Mac OS? Seriously, if you're gonna give me a recovery partition, I expect it to have the backup. Not go, oh, I'm gonna go online and let you put it in me over the internet. My internet's not that fast. God knows I think I'm paying for it. And Lucy's looking at me like, what are you doing? You're looking at this thing and talking into that, and I think you're having fun. Yeah, baby, I'm having fun. Yeah. And as you can tell, I'm a dog person. I love dogs. Anyway, as another thing, I talked about my G4 Mac, the one that's half snow globe. Yeah, well, Ubuntu downloaded or tried downloading an update. Apparently, I didn't tell it to put the update in, but so consequently it did, and now it crashed the OS. And I don't have a Mac keyboard. I'm using a Windows keyboard, and yeah, I can't do anything. I cannot type on the thing or whatever. I can't even boot. I can't even eject. I can't boot the hard drive into a recovery. I cannot eject the original CD-ROM to actually do recovery of this. So those of you thinking of doing a conversion from Mac OS to Ubuntu, I say have fun with that. It's good until it breaks. Turn off all your auto updates. Apparently I missed something. I'm mad too, because I used it as, you know, a little bit of everything. It was, and besides, it's always fun when customers walk in and they see a Mac or a MacBook, and then they see an iMac, except the iMac looks slightly different because it isn't running iOS or Mac OS. I'm sorry. There apparently is a big difference between Mac and iOS, and which there are. It's yeah. I do not like iOS. It's too clumsy, too generic, and too locked down. Some people would disagree with me saying it's clumsy. I guess a better term for it is it was not intended for the guy like me who I don't even know where my phone went. I'd show you guys. You know, it's like I have yeah, there. See? I have a calendar, I have other things, I even have my my meter. And yes, that is right, ladies and gentlemen. I am still rocking unlimited and I have over 12 gigs of data this month, which I am happy because I've heard, and it's storming outside, and for some reason our internet flakes out. But I've heard that that Verizon is actually going to start switching back to unlimited data, which I say great, because that's the one reason why I wouldn't get the upgrade, is because I'd have to switch. And well, some things worked out where I didn't have to upgrade my data package, and it made me happy. And it made my pocketbook happy, because I knew I would be doing 6 to 12 gigs. I literally, if I do 2 gigs, it is rare. It is very rare, because I'm using it for my internet. I'm using it on my tablet and computer when I travel, so I can actually have internet. I'm actually, video camera, live streaming. I can do all that from this. It's so cute. She brought me out a ball. I'm so tempted to go play with her. Actually, if I hurry up, I probably can. So anyway, that's kind of my rant about... Oh, speaking of Android. Oh my gosh, guys. And yes, that is her squeaking her toy. Microsoft is added again. Yes, here it is. 2nd generation Nokia phone. No, I read that wrong. Excuse me, I left out a word. 2nd generation Nokia Android phone. Show Microsoft's new priorities. I think it's a wonderful thing, really, because their RT or whatever, or their phone OS is not able to compete. I've given my theory on what they should do, and and how to rectify the problem to fix what I see as a big mistake. Hang on. I need that ball. Are you sure? I'm back. She wanted me to get the ball. Dog lovers understand this. So anyway, they're making apps, and really, I'm not surprised. You shouldn't be surprised. I've heard of this for a while, but it's only been in rumor. They're gonna have OneDrive, Outlook, and Skype. You know what, Android buddies? That means that guys like us, they'll actually fix the damn Skype program on Android. Finally. Or just put out another one and make it work right. Either way. But, they got OneDrive. They recently switched the name. They love switching names. I don't know why they switched names so much. Because, well, I guess if you think about it, what they're trying to do, I get it, I guess. But they always switch names of things, First you had Hotmail, then they went to Live.com, Now it's Outlook.com. You know, and you go to Outlook.com and you can use a version of Office online, kind of like Google Docs. You know, OneDrive is in competition with Google Drive, which, I mean, unless, I mean, like, what, I think they're offering like 1 gig of free space, if I remember correctly. My, like I said, internet down, can't really look too much. But you know, it's like OneNote. You know, like for me, I love Surface. You know, I love that I can take this stylus and I can write. I can write, and write. I can even bring up the keyboard, change it over. You know, it. In my opinion, strict opinion, it is not nearly as good as one of these. It isn't. It doesn't recognize your handwriting near as well, or mine anyway. But there again, I got really insane crappy handwriting. Oh, what else are they going to do here? But they're calling it the whoa, lightning, thunder, lightning must have struck close. But they call it the, I don't know, on DZNet or ZDNet, they call it the Consumer Service Trinity, which is OneNote, Outlook, and Skype. I don't know. I'm actually kind of excited for this. They didn't really do what I'd hoped they would do, which is just put Windows 8 with a phone GUI on on there, you know. I mean, come on, take a 1.864-bit, you know, Atom processor and slap it in that bad boy and be done with it. Call it a day. Redesign Metro a little bit to where you got your phone app and you got your live tiles. You know, I mean, come on, you're there. You do not have to redesign anything. But I mean, Android though, I mean, you design it in Java. Pull somebody off the street that, you know, knows Java. Boom! You made an app. I don't know. I haven't ever tried making a program for Metro, but I've heard it's easier because it's more like web coding. I don't know. I don't really have a desire to try. Too bad. What else have we got here? Let me see. Oh, Android Smart Projector by, is it ODIN? I don't know how you pronounce that. I assume that's the company name. But yeah, they got this really slick looking Wi-Fi enabled projector that you actually can project from your phone. That's actually kind of cool. Killer on your battery. Just saying. But cool. I guess they're well, I guess you can even project. It says users can also use the projector to play Xbox games. That's actually kind of interesting. I would kind of buy it, I think. Just because I'm a gamer. I like projectors. I was the nerd that had access to an area that was bigger than my house, and you and I basically would throw LAN parties, and my area ran on a projector. Yes, I threw actual LAN parties with computers, and after I discovered Halo, I threw what I coined Halo parties. So, we went through Halo 1 and Halo 2, and, well, then I no longer had access to the place, and so I no longer have a place to do things like that. But when I did, I partied. Like, we didn't get drunk or stupid things like that. We did nerd things. We played Magic. We cooked pizza. I fired up the grill. I said, bring your own meat if you want something different. Because I was at the time decently making money, I could afford to feed my guests and afford to buy all the drinks and whatever, and I didn't do alcohol because I had underage there, and but it was nice, and I like stuff like that because the kids that came, the parents knew me, and they, not just by name, but they knew me well. I had done work on their computer. I've been to their home. I've done I've known people from church, and and that sort of thing. I guess what I'm trying to say is, I used to throw fun parties, but in a way it was also to try and keep younger people out of trouble as well. And I don't know if it worked semi-successfully because, the people just enjoyed what they were doing. We did the normal gaming thing, and we cussed and screamed at our controller, at the console, at the game, at each other, and then when the match was over, we were best friends again. I tell you what, it was interesting to see women get really feisty over that. And, but, no, like I said, I'm a storyteller. I love telling stories, and that's probably one of many. This is really good. Like I've said before, I'm normally a coffee drinker, but this late at night, I'm kind of changing it up just a little bit. Also, I don't have sugar out here, because, I like my coffee a little on the sweet side. But yeah, apparently this projector, like, is getting, wait, let me reread that. Like I said, kinda tired, making sure I'm telling you right. Okay, this is actually pretty cool. This is not like one of those little bit, or not little bit, but those cheap projectors. This thing actually does stuff. Like, it'll actually support Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon Video content. That's actually pretty huge. As well as media from the web and mobile apps. So, I don't know, maybe, I don't know, oh, I'm stupid. I'm sorry. Wow, I thought that you hooked it up to your phone. I reread the title. I'm sorry, guys. Android Smart Projector. Yeah, Okay. Having a blonde moment. I'm sorry. But no, I guess this is a Kickstarter. Dude, this is actually really cool. Because, like, you can actually use all your Google, or, like, do Google Play, get Chrome browser, you can do SkyDrive, which is now OneDrive, you can do Google Docs, Office 365, Dropbox for your file access, and that they're up to at the so when they wrote this, which was when they write this June 25th 14, they were at a wow, as a lot of money, $160,000 have been raised, and their goal is 250,000. That is insane. But I don't know. I think we should be all be looking for this to come up, because I really think this is an amazing device. Like, I don't know, for some reason when I read the title, I thought they meant you like connected it to your phone. And yeah. No. This is actually a smart projector. So, yeah. Guess what I think I might be getting when it comes out? Or support the Kickstarter. That is really, really cool. Oh, cool. Amazon's phone, the Amazon phone, or Amazon Fire Phone Fire, or Fire Phone, or whatever, it's hot. Yes, I made the joke, deal with it. I think it's going to be released here in July, if I remember correctly. Are available through AT&T only. This phone is off the hook. Like, I am so serious. They don't seem to do a whole lot different with phones nowadays. I mean, seriously, I have an old Razor. You have your HD camera, blah blah blah. You have your screen, your place for your cards and whatever. And then you have this Samsung Galaxy 5. Same thing. I'm serious, guys. They look the same except for color. Like except for like a little bit in shape and squaring and things like that, But my point is that usually when people companies try and bring out a phone, they just can't quite do it. Can't quite make a product that really lives up to expectations. Just kind of like the Moto X. That was a big flop on Google. It was a good computer in your hand. It was smart, but it could not be a phone. It did everything but be a phone. In fact, sales were, I mean, they were basically giving these things away. I don't know, I've heard people say, I love my phone, or Moto X, or whatever. Well, apparently Google disagreed when they sold that Motorola Mobile to Lenovo. Yeah, but the point is, though, is Amazon came out with it wasn't really the look that's impressive. It's actually what's in it. You know, because what's in it is actually pretty dang sweet, guys. And bring up my notes. Yes, I took notes. You guys would be... Really? Almost done. Connecting to OneDrive. Really? Where's all my stuff? There it goes. I had stuff, and do you know the one thing? Yeah, I know. I went on vacation. I couldn't use that, so I used that one. Yes. I'm sorry, guys. I was looking on the wrong OneNote. I have the free version, and I have the other version, 2007 or 10, maybe. No, 2007. Don't matter. Anyway, Amazon's new phone, though. Get this. Has a 64-bit quad core, 2.0 gigahertz processor. The 64-bit. I mean, come on. Like, and what's really funny is how Apple released their newest, what was it, iPhone 5S or something like that with a 64-bit. I think it was the 5S. And yeah, I mean, come on. A 64-bit in this thing? That is nuts. I mean, that is amazingly nuts. 2 gigs of RAM. So for a smartphone, that's like, you know, me taking one of my towers and, you know, turning it into a router. You know, with, you know, like, say, an i3, you know, and with, say, 8 gigs of RAM, you know, we're talking that kind of overkill, okay? But the downside is it's only through AT&T, so, you know, but you gotta start somewhere, I guess, and AT&T, I guess, is desperate, because, you know, iPhone, yeah, sorry, I really don't like iPhones. iPhones are, yeah. So, let's see. 13 megapixel front facing camera. Or, I'm pretty sure I had that, wrote that backwards. 13 megapixel camera pointed that way. And, yeah. I don't remember writing down, apparently. I didn't write down what the front-facing camera was. but you guys have probably seen specs for this already. So you're going, okay, Chris, that's pretty, that's nice, but what's new? This is actually new. Okay, anyone who owns a Amazon Fire TV knows about this predictive caching. So I guess when you're streaming, like, like me, I watch Star Trek and things like that. So, it just goes, oh, you watched an episode of Star Trek Next Gen, episode this from this season. I'm suspecting you will want me to load the next show. And so it'll start caching it. And therefore there isn't lag. Just like on your Kindle or on your Fire TV. Did I say Kindle Fire TV? Or I don't know. I don't know that I know what I'm saying today. It's kind of been one of them days. Everybody has them, right? So they got that. They also have another feature where it makes everything look 3D in your camera. You can point your camera at something, or point your phone at something, go into this thing, and it will make it look 3D. What it does is it does what's called, or it gives you what's called dynamic perspective. So it's got, I think, 4 little cameras in the side, and what it'll do is it will use all 4 cameras to try to render in a 3D perception on your screen. So you can take walk up to a painting that, I don't know, like say something Picasso did, or some, a mural or something like that, and look at this thing and it'll pop to life. And that's actually really, really cool technology. But the other thing that they've got, which is just mind-blowing, like absolutely mind-blowing. Amazon beats out eBay. I'm sorry, they do. And a lot of things, but it's like Amazon got to be good at what they do. And so what they've done is they've compiled they put together an application on your phone that what it actually will do is you can say, oh, that's cool, like say my soundboard. Somebody can go, oh, that's cool, I think I want that, and just take a picture of it. And the program will extract the necessary data from what it sees, send it to the cloud. And I mean, this and their cloud, their infrastructure, search through a massive database and bring up the product. Brick and mortar just died. Just literally died. Like me, I go to Best Buy all the time. Normally, I do not buy from Best Buy. I go there to play with what I want to buy, and then I go to Amazon. I do. They got prices that I normally do not see beat. And, it's funny, because Best Buy now price matches. Like, this phone was $50, I think, or something like that originally. They price matched AT&T 1 cent. I got that $200 phone that was $50 with a contract renewal, blah blah blah, for 1 cent. Yeah. Guess what? My mom got an upgrade too. So did my dad. Well, he didn't get an upgrade on the phone, he got an upgrade on his plan. And yeah, that is amazingly cool though. When, you know, you can, your cloud compute, because really, I mean, the specs I read off to you that go in this phone are not the brains that extract all the data. You know, there is like gobs and gobs of infrastructure behind this thing, and it just goes crunch, 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 poing, and it gives you what you took a picture of if Amazon's got it. And if they don't got it, it is only a matter of time till they get it. Let me see what else. I am at quite a time. Okay. Oops. Oh, there we go. That's what I wanted. Talked about Windows 7, China banning Windows 8 from government computers. I did specify that, right? When the government computers over in China, they are saying no Windows 8, which I don't blame them. I mean, last I checked, even State Farm hasn't taken the plunge to upgrade, and they're Microsoft's biggest fans. I mean, they are literally. Like, I used to work there years and years and years ago. I mean, I was like, 17, 18, 18. And, you know, I was only there for a few months because I was there on an internship. But the point is, though, is that these guys, love Microsoft. You know, apparently at the time they, well, I won't say anymore because yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up about that because, yeah, hi State Farm in the contract I signed. Alright, Linux dominates supercomputers as never before. I don't know that that's really a surprise to me, because anyone who's ever used Linux just like as a command line knows that it just, you know, it has a hard time for some reason doing a hardware abstract, you know, from like when I'm transferring files and whatever. On Windows, it'll usually just go blink, blink, blink and be done. You know, I can transfer a gig here in probably a matter of seconds, you know, and the Linux boxes will take a little bit longer to chew on it, but there again, I imagine that's hardware, software talking, and that's probably also the filing system and the way it's set up, because NTFS works a little bit different than NF or NFS. Yeah, NFS. And in the respects that you do not have to defrag NFS. In fact, it does it for you. Like, the filing system is built not to clog up, as long as there's enough space free for it to move things around appropriately. Solid states, however, don't give a crap. You know, it's got the software talking to the firmware, and the software goes, I'm throwing information in you, I want to go here. And the firmware goes, okay, and then turns around and goes, here's where I want it all to go, which is where it all should go. Like, you do not have to defrag an SSD, which is like, I mean, like, I've been working on computers since 1993, 94. I've used DOS all the way up through Windows 8. Yes, I grew up on DOS. I was the guy that walked in up to a Windows 95 computer, got into a DOS prompt, and would actually look at the specs through that, because I preferred actually seeing a command prompt. Nowadays, I'm slowly getting that way again with Linux, but Linux is a little bit different. Like, one of my friends, who is actually Linux certified, described DOS this way to me. How did he put it? He said DOS is basically Unix lobotomized. I agree. I really do agree with that statement. And that's after you teach myself how to actually use it. So, I don't know, I find that interesting though, that, you know, it's funny. They build all this, you know, proprietary software, and then you get people like Linus, who releases just a beautiful piece of software, you know, and you can do amazing things with it. You know, probably 98%, if not more, of the internet runs off of Linux or Unix. I mean, Apache, you know, like what? I tried building a web server on a Windows Server 2008. Yeah, the software for that is actually behind and lacking versus what goes in a Linux machine, which is, you know, because what I think on Linux PHP is up to 5.5, and alright, try this again maybe. I don't know, it wigged out on me this time, saying the card was almost full. Checked it, there again, you don't need this. This is hooked up to my tablet. Checked it, guess what? 15 gigs are free out of 29. So I don't know what it was wigging out about. Anyway, I was going goo goo gaga over SDs. Oh yeah, I was talking about Linux infrastructure, blah blah blah. So anyway, the moral of the story is that nowadays, There's about 97% of the world's fastest computers that run Linux. You know, it's all open source stuff. I mean, you can throw together a Beowulf cluster if you know what you're doing. You know, you can, you know, you can have that parallel processing power, which, I mean, I'd actually wouldn't mind trying to build a Beowulf cluster. Wow. Like I say, words are hard. Let's try this again. I wouldn't mind building a Beowulf cluster. I think it would be fun. I think it would be just fun to see what it would do. And and we're talking like the other percentages, you know, run Unix and Windows, but well, no, it doesn't run Windows. It runs Unix. No Windows. Windows bad for cluster. Like I say, I don't want to be in space and get a blue screen on landing. Could you imagine that reset process? I mean, be like, pull out flap. And pull out the flap. You must restart computer before flap can be pulled. You told me to... You know, it probably would just be something totally stupid. You know? I don't know, it seems though they've gotten it actually figured out stuff with Windows 8 to keep it from blue screening, black screening, which is really, really good. But one article I was reading as well talked about how they believe Google's the future. I don't know where they have been for the last 14 years. I've been saying, along with probably everybody else who's ever used Google and then tried going back to using Yahoo or Bing. Bing actually isn't too bad. Bing kind of reminds me slightly of Google, but I can tell differences. But there's slight differences, but still differences. I prefer Google. Oh, excuse me. But like I said, I prefer Google over most other search engines. Like, for some reason, the Avast on here decided that my my home URL was going to be Yahoo. I don't care mainly, or no, my search engine was going to be Yahoo, which I've been okay with it if it just would have been like, okay, we're gonna make your home screen Yahoo. That's fine. I have a Yahoo account. Perfect. You know, and go in, look at that, switch over to my Yahoo, and there I am. You know, but no. It forces me to use Yahoo search engine. And once you've Googled, well, you don't go back to Yahooing. It just, yeah. So let me make sure I've got I forgot. I forgot the good one. So the Lou Trojan has snatched 500,000 euros from European banks in 1 week. And this article came out 6 days ago. Apparently nobody really can block this thing. Like, it is, like, I don't know, I trust me, I've heard stories about other people doing other things with other services, but seriously, going right after a bank, I'm sorry, I'm not for robbery, but that to me is epic, and in its own right, No, it was wrong. Morally, it was wrong. But the engineering that it took to actually make such a thing, to get in there and, worm around and grab the necessary things it needed to get that amount of euros and get out is just, I mean, that is almost like Office Space gone perfect. Yeah, I don't know. I think that is all I really have, and I know that I've probably gone way over time, but hey, it's a podcast, so what do? You you just put me down in your taskbar, go off, do whatever you're doing, and yeah, like any other podcast, except, well, this ain't really a podcast. It's more like I guess it's just a YouTube show. Cool. Well, I hope you have enjoyed. I hope you learned something from my ramblings. Write me, maybe I can learn something from you. Let me think here. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Stay tuned for more of the Blue Screen Talk Show, and we're going to be doing the Repcast here in a day or so, or at least we're hoping. We keep having setbacks, but it's mainly, I think I've ranted before about Ustream, and yeah, I had everything working right, and then Ustream just said, we hate you. But now that these cameras are doing this and all that, I think I can make something work. So, here we go. Alright guys, well, I really appreciate you viewing me. Like, subscribe, go to our website, become a subscriber there, and you can post, give us ideas for content, give us ideas for the Repcast, what you would like us to do, what you would like to hear us talk about. We're always trying to expand our horizons of different things. We're new to this. We're not in it. I'd be lying if I said we weren't in it for the money, but we're also in it for you guys. So what you find entertaining is what we talk about. So yeah, well, have a good day, night, evening, whichever y'all have. Have a good one. Bye.